Hello, folks. Just wanted to talk about making sure that the equipment you have matches the uh, plan that you have with your internet service provider. Here, I'm in my basement and I have my old telephony internet modem I bought myself because I don't believe in leasing out equipment. We have Xfinity here in Illinois. We're about 50 miles south of Chicago. And this pertains to no matter where you're at, if you have Cox or any of the other companies. We tend to not think about, especially this being tucked away in the basement, this Aries 862G, which is old and obsolete. It's a DOCSIS 3. The current Xfinity protocol now is DOCSIS 3.1. This is not capable of anything faster than realistically 300 megabytes per second. It's up to 340 is DOCSIS 3, but the ports. So this purple cable right here, you see this goes up to my den, which is connected to a TP-Link wireless modem router. And I use that as an access point for the TV upstairs, which it's close by and pretty much upstairs because it's the 1800 I said Archer model, and it's got pretty good Wi-Fi signal. It's pretty strong and it's fast enough. But everything's crimped by what you have here going out to your, obviously here's your coaxial cable going out to Xfinity in our case. Again, it doesn't matter which service provider. But you have to make sure that the equipment that you have matches the service plan that you're paying for. This is often overlooked, and a lot of times they won't tell you if you have a customer-owned equipment like me. I bought this off some individual in Indiana who was selling tons of these. They were probably off lease, and they were becoming obsolete because it is DOCSIS 3. Even at the time, I think 3.1 was coming out. I've had this probably about 7 or 8 years, I would say, at least maybe a little bit longer. Again, because I don't believe in paying monthly leasing for equipment. This is something you can buy even renewed, and this was renewed. It was probably some customer-owned equipment. I got it at the time. They required DOCSIS 3.0, and this was fine for that. But 3.1 was already on the horizon. And this now, as of 2024, it was. I think this was bumped off the compatibility list 2 years ago at least, because this is an old device. And like I said, the ports. So where this goes, this one goes upstairs to my den to the TP-Link. That 1000. That'll do 1000 full duplex. Although I'm having an issue with that now, because if one of these boot, either one of them boot, this will not connect to Xfinity. This light here will stay yellow and just flash, and it won't connect. So there's an auto negotiation issue going on between the two that I can't seem to resolve. And the problem is when you get a device, and even if it's from the seller who factory reset it to default before he boxed it up and shipped it to you, as what they usually do, it has its own web page. The Aries, in this case, it's the Aries 862. It's their Aries web interface, which seems to have more customizable features to go into the LAN ports and configure them. Configure the full duplex, half duplex, auto negotiate, which is what a lot of people leave it at. I can't access that because what happens is as soon as you plug one of these up to Xfinity, it goes to the Xfinity interface, which doesn't have all the tools. At least I'm not able to find them. And it's a pain in the neck. But realistically, it's time to get rid of this one because DOCSIS 3.1 is the new protocol. And that's even getting a little long in the tooth. There's going to be a newer version coming out. I think DOCSIS 4.0. And really, that pertains to the speed. This will work. This works. It's not on their compatibility list. As you can see, it's fully connected to the internet. It works fine. It does, but it will only do up to 300 megabytes per second realistically. I mean, it says up to 340 is DOCSIS, but I'm getting about 300. And you're crimped by your hardware. So make sure. I guess my message is to make sure And I've known this because I've always kind of known because I've worked IT about 27 years, and I've dealt with these kind of issues with auto negotiation. That's usually comes down to hardware, software compatibility issues, but it's usually hardware. They work fine if I force it. I have to do a dance where I have to leave my TP link off, reboot this, let this come back on, let it connect to the office, to Xfinity, and then I can go plug my TP link upstairs in, which is connected through the RJ45 Cat 5 cable, and it does come back online and it doesn't knock it off because it can't negotiate. Sometimes I have to turn I'm doing this dance where I have to turn it to 100 full duplex, and then I can bump it up to 1,000. So it's just a pain in the what. It's time to get rid of it. That's nothing related to what Xfinity's doing on their end or anything like that. That's just there's just something wrong with. I didn't have this issue with my neck gear, but it's just something wrong with seems like with. Well, now that I recall, I did kind of have an issue. I take that back. An internet cable could, Cat 5 cable could do this, believe it or not. But it's just, I'm at a point with this is just the time to get rid of it. But realistically, I'm not a gamer. It's just me and my wife, and we watch, TV. We cut the cable years ago, and we watch streaming service, and we have. I gotta clean the basement. I think I'm gonna get a dumpster and start throwing stuff out. We have. I've got my tripod. So I'll show you the internet speed. Let me put my phone in here. Hold on one second. Put it in a little nice stand that I bought from Amazon. Can you see it okay? You can see it good enough. So even with that, as you can see, I'll even run the test again. Get back to the speed thingy there. All right. Because the Archer 1800, I have the TP link, it is capable of hitting up to at least 300, but it's going to be crimped by the modem downstairs, the Aries 862. So I'm going to have to, being a little bit geeky, I'm going to have to figure out which hardware I want to get. I don't know if I want to get another Aries or a Motorola I'm probably going to look for a refurbished one. Because that's how I bought this one. It's lasted a good 8 years. So it's usually if anybody returns these, a lot of these ones that are Xfinity marked or what were used by Xfinity are just surplus stuff that they've offloaded to sellers to sell, and that's where you find them on eBay. So don't be afraid to buy from one of those sellers because they have a return, as long as they have a return policy, 30 days or whatever. But every time I bought used equipment, it's always been buying seats. So you could see it'll do 300, but make sure that if you're paying for a plan, that you make sure you check your speeds. And I downloaded this app. I don't think this was on the Hisense TV by default. The speed internet speed test. I think I downloaded it. Yes, I did. But you can do it from your computer. I have one computer in my den that's like I showed you downstairs. That's hardwired into my TP link. So when I test that, I'm still at 300 too because it's all crimped by the TP link router's DOCSIS 3 older protocol. So I just needed to get a 3.1, which, like I said, 3.1, 4. I think 4 is on the horizon. I think DOCSIS 4 is the next one. So you're always, I guess my message is make sure the plan that you're paying for at your internet service provider isn't more than your hardware's capabilities, or you're going to have to upgrade your hardware. And the only way you know that is really, well, first you have to check the model number on your modem to see if it's dropped off the service provider's list. If you have Cox, they do the same thing, or whatever, wherever you're at in the United States. Just check and make sure your equipment, and it's easy to happen because, like, you could see where mine is. It's downstairs in the basement. No, it's out of sight, out of mind, and the internet works every time. So it's not something I'm thinking about. Very often here. Pull you back a little bit here. As far as changing out hardware equipment, because like I said, it works. you don't really replace what's unless stuff's broken. There we go. It's a little crooked. So that's the thing is with the internet, you're not really looking at your modem all the time, but the technology becomes obsolete. You're going to have to replace it, and like I said, I highly recommend people don't lease from any of the service providers because, like I think Xfinity, I forget what the price is, but it's a never ending. It's not like you pay it up full at whatever a full price is. It's an ongoing lease, and why would you want to lease equipment when you go buy your own? It's just I know some people feel probably warm and fuzzy that if it went out and these things rarely break, but if like the main board fried on your modem, yes, I get you could call Xfinity. They would come out probably within that day, maybe the next day, and replace it with another modem off the truck. That's what you're getting with the lease plan. But you trust me, you're really pretty safe with your own equipment. And I would not be afraid to buy refurbished. Just make sure that you're getting go to their list and look and see what's at the current list and what their current DOCSIS requirements are. Don't buy a 3.0. Make sure, like for now, most of them are 3.1. And 3.1 is going to get you the speeds usually if you want higher speed. Like I said, we have the 300 plan. We've had the 300 plan, and that's max what our the downstairs areas can do. But a week ago, their team, Xfinity team, called my wife's phone and asked if they wanted to asked us if we wanted to try a 1 year trial of the Superfast, which is 800 megabytes. And at first I shook my head at my wife because she had me on speaker. I said, no, well, we have no benefit. But then they said the price was less than the 300 plan. Well, trust me, the reason why they're doing it is we all know is a bait and switch. I mean, they're going to get you on for a year. It's automatic billing, and after the year expires, which it is lower than the 300 plan, and that's the teaser rate. And then after that, it's going to double in price, and then you're going to it's just going to be auto billed. So you have to, if you take some of their plans like that, you have to make sure, that month that they're going to revert back after your 1 year trial, you're going to go back to the service that you want that's lower price because we don't need the 800 service. I'm sure a lot of gamers think that they need faster speeds, but I assure you that again, I mean, I'm not a big gamer. I'm an old IT guy, but I'm not a big gamer, obviously, and I don't game at all on TV. It's just the streaming we do with 4K, sometimes HD, mostly in standard definition. Computer in the den. My wife works up from at home upstairs on her computer upstairs. Even with everything, and if I'm surfing on my laptop, even there's nothing ever been that restricted. We've always had full access speed. We've never had any crimping down or loss of capabilities. So just make sure that the hardware that you have matches what the speed plan that you're paying for. Don't overpay for a plan that your hardware can't do because then you'll have to replace your hardware or lower your speed. If you're happy with a lower speed, that's great. Buy the least amount that you need to do what you need to do at home. Don't overpay for more speed. You're not going to benefit from it. Trust me on that. Okay, thanks.